When you think of great warriors in the Bible, names like David, Samson, or Joshua might come to mind. But there's one warrior whose story is shrouded in mystery, a man who accomplished incredible feats, but remains largely unknown even to many devoted readers of Scripture. His name is Benaiah, and his tale is one of courage, loyalty, and faithfulness, qualities that often go unnoticed in today's world. What can we learn from this enigmatic figure, and why is his story so important? Imagine facing down a lion in a pit on a snowy day, or single-handedly defeating an Egyptian giant armed with only a staff. These aren't scenes from a Hollywood blockbuster. These are real events recorded in the Bible. Benaiah's life, though only briefly mentioned, holds profound lessons for those of us seeking to live lives of purpose and faith. Today, we're going to dive deep into the life of Benaiah, uncovering the lessons hidden in his story and exploring what it means to be a true warrior of God. You might be wondering, why should I care about a character like Benaiah? He's just a footnote in the larger biblical narrative, right? But here's the thing. The Bible is full of characters like Benaiah, people who may not get the spotlight but whose stories carry significant meaning. Understanding these lesser-known figures can provide us with insights into God's character, His plans, and the kind of people He calls us to be. I've spent years studying the Bible, not just the well-known stories, but the hidden gems, the stories that don't always get the attention they deserve. Benaiah's tale is one of those hidden gems. It's a story that resonates with anyone who has ever faced challenges, felt overlooked, or wondered what it truly means to be a person of faith in a world that often values power over principles. So let's explore the life of Benaiah together and see what this courageous warrior can teach us about living with integrity, standing up for what's right, and trusting in God's strength rather than our own. By the end of this video, you'll have a new appreciation for the life of Benaiah and the lessons his story offers. We'll look at the key moments in his life, the battles he fought, the loyalty he showed, and the faith that guided him. But more than that, you'll discover how Benaiah's story is relevant to your life today. Whether you're facing your own lions or standing up against seemingly insurmountable odds, Benaiah's example provides a roadmap for living a life of courage and faith. But there's something even deeper here. Benaiah's story is also a reminder that God often works through the humble, the overlooked, and the faithful. His life challenges us to consider how we, too, can serve God faithfully, even when we're not in the spotlight. So let's dive in and uncover the powerful lessons hidden in the story of Benaiah. Before we jump into Benaiah's incredible feats, let's set the stage. Who exactly was Benaiah? According to the Bible, Benaiah was the son of Jehoiada, a valiant fighter from Kabzeel. He served as one of King David's mighty men, an elite group of warriors who performed extraordinary deeds in service to their king. But Benaiah wasn't just any warrior, he was one of David's most trusted men, eventually rising to the position of commander over David's personal bodyguard. Benaiah's story is scattered across a few brief passages in the Old Testament, primarily in the books of 2 Samuel and 1 Chronicles. Despite the brevity of these mentions, the details provided paint a picture of a man who was not only physically strong, but also deeply loyal and spiritually grounded. His courage in battle and his unwavering loyalty to David set him apart, making him one of the most respected figures in David's court. One of the most famous stories about Benaiah involves a confrontation with a lion in a pit on a snowy day. Now, this isn't just any encounter. This is a situation filled with symbolism and meaning. In ancient times, lions were seen as symbols of power and danger. Facing a lion, especially in a confined space like a pit, would be terrifying for anyone. But Benaiah didn't hesitate. He didn't run away or wait for the perfect conditions. He faced the lion head-on in the middle of winter, on a day when the snow made everything more difficult. And he won. So, what's the lesson here? Benaiah's encounter with the lion teaches us about the importance of courage and faith. There will be times in our lives when we find ourselves in a pit, a situation that seems hopeless or overwhelming. The lions we face might be challenges at work, struggles in our personal lives, or battles against our own fears and doubts. But like Benaiah, we're called to confront these challenges head-on, trusting that God will give us the strength to overcome them. Another key moment in Benaiah's story is his battle with a giant Egyptian. This wasn't just a skirmish. This was a fight against a formidable opponent. Armed with a spear that was likened to a weaver's beam, And what did Benaiah have? A staff. Yet against all odds, Benaiah snatched the spear from the giant's hand and killed him with it. This victory isn't just about physical strength, it's about resourcefulness and determination. Benaiah didn't let the odds intimidate him. He used what he had and turned his opponent's weapon against him. The lesson here is clear. In our own lives, we'll face giants, problems or obstacles that seem too big to overcome. But God equips us with the tools we need to face these challenges. It's not always about having the most resources or the best circumstances. It's about using what we have, being resourceful, and trusting in God's provision. Benaiah's loyalty to King David is another defining aspect of his character. Throughout David's reign, Benaiah remained steadfastly loyal, even when others turned against the king. His loyalty wasn't just about obedience. It was about recognizing David as God's chosen leader and standing by him, no matter the cost. This kind of loyalty is rare in today's world, where personal ambition often takes precedence over faithfulness. Benaiah's example challenges us to consider our own loyalties. Are we loyal to God, to the people He has placed in our lives, and to the principles He has called us to uphold? True leadership, as Benaiah shows, isn't about seeking power for ourselves, but about serving others faithfully, even when it's difficult. So, what is Benaiah's legacy? On the surface, his story might seem like just another tale of bravery from ancient times. But when we dig deeper, we find a man whose life embodies qualities that are just as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. Benaiah's courage, resourcefulness, loyalty, and faithfulness offer us a blueprint for living a life that honors God. He reminds us that true strength comes not from our own abilities, but from our trust in God's power. His life challenges us to face our own lions, to overcome the giants in our path, and to remain loyal to the people and principles that God has called us to serve. In the end, Benaiah's story is more than just a historical account. It's a call to action. It's an invitation to live with the same courage and faithfulness that defined his life. Whether we're facing physical challenges, personal struggles, or spiritual battles, Benaiah's example inspires us to trust in God, use the resources He has given us, and remain steadfast in our faith. Now that you've heard Benaiah's story, the question is, what will you do with it? How will you apply the lessons of courage, resourcefulness, and loyalty in your own life? The Bible is more than just a collection of ancient stories. It's a living, breathing text that speaks to us today, offering guidance and inspiration for every aspect of our lives. If Benaiah's story has inspired you, take a moment to reflect on the lions and giants you're facing right now. What steps can you take to confront them with the same courage and faith that Benaiah showed? And how can you be more loyal to the people and principles that God has placed in your life? As you ponder these questions, consider sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Let's build a community of people who are committed to living out the lessons of the Bible, who are inspired by the stories of lesser-known figures like Benaiah, and who are striving to be warriors of faith in our own lives. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more about the hidden gems of the Bible, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're on a journey to explore the rich tapestry of Scripture, uncovering the stories that often go unnoticed but carry profound lessons for our lives today. Join us as we continue to delve into the Bible's mysteries, learn from its heroes, and apply its teachings to our daily lives. Whether you're new to the Bible or a seasoned reader, there's always something new to discover.